So I'm definitely not a fan of soggy chicken wings, alright? I like them to be crispy and I like them to be coated in a nice, beautiful sauce and staying crispy on top of that, you know what I mean? I'm going to show you a very easy process that's going to ensure those chicken wings stay nice and crispy as they bake off, right? And we're going to also throw together a hot honey that's going to act as a sauce. So the process that we need to do to the chicken wings actually starts one day prior to us actually wanting to bake them off. So I'm going to show you that first, and then we'll move on and bake the chicken wings as they're baking off. We'll make the sauce, combine the two of them, and you're golden, right? So the recipe for the chicken wings themselves is incredibly easy. You have chicken wings, baking powder, and salt. The very first thing I like to do to the wings is cut that wingtip off. You can see where I'm pointing at has a joint on it, and you can just run your knife right through that joint and cut the wingtip off very easily. You could also separate the drumette from the flat, kind of whatever it is that you want to do with that. You definitely do not want to throw away those wingtips, as you could use them to make a beautiful stock. One of the most important things when you're making crispy oven baked chicken wings is making sure that those wings are completely dry. So I take 2 paper towels and I'm just patting each side of the chicken wing very dry and placing it into a large mixing bowl. After that, you want to place in your baking powder, which is 2 teaspoons, and a nice pinch of kosher salt. You could do as much or as little as you want to do with this, kind of salt the taste with that, and just make sure to evenly coat the chicken wings with the baking powder and the salt. And don't be shy to use your hands, roll up your sleeves and get in there. Once those chicken wings are evenly coated, place them onto a cooling rack. I'm placing mine over a glass baking dish, that way I can catch any kind of drippage that may occur. Definitely want to dry these chicken wings out, so you're going to place them in the refrigerator overnight or 24 hours uncovered. So the very next day, take the chicken wings out of the refrigerator and once again pat them completely dry with paper towels. I like to do one on each side of the wing as I'm patting them dry. Once they're dry, place a little bit of oil on the bottom of a baking dish and place parchment paper on top. The oil helps the parchment paper not slide around. You definitely want to season the wire rack also. This will help eliminate any kind of sticking that may occur. Oil works best. Stay away from cooking spray as that has kind of weird flavors to it. Place your chicken wings about 1.5 inches, 2 inches apart from each other. If you're doing more than 2 pounds of chicken wings, you'll probably have to separate them on 2 different dishes. Just make sure that you don't overcrowd the wings as they bake off. Once you place them all in the cooling rack, I go as far as patting them dry once more before placing them into the oven, and before that I actually season them pretty heavily with freshly cracked black pepper. They don't need any more salt on them because they sat with a dry brine on them overnight, right? Toss them into an oven preheated 250 degrees, let them go for 30 minutes. This will help dry out the outside of those wings. As they bake off, let's go ahead and toss together this hot honey. Very simple. So I take the 16 ounces of the honey, place the honey into a bowl of warm water. That's going to help it loosen up and become more pourable. Grab your 4 dried habaneros, yank the stems off of them. You could use whatever kind of dried chilies you want. I like the habaneros since they have a really kick-ass amount of heat to them. Run your knife through them. You're just going to give them a rough chop. I'm not removing any seeds, anything like that, because the honey's going to get strained out further on down the road, right? If you want to try out these dried habaneros, I definitely recommend it. They are delicious. I'll leave a link in the description for you if you want to grab a bag of them. That's the texture that I'm looking for, a very rough chop. So now we want to grab a stock pot, put it on a burner. I'm going to set it to medium heat. In no specific order, place all those ingredients into the stock pot. That's the vinegar, that's the habaneros, that is the honey. If you do use these habaneros, they're actually quite vicious on the amount of heat to them, so I actually highly recommend you wear rubber gloves before you handle them. I love the honey in warm water trick. It makes life so much easier when you're working with honey, especially when it's about 30 degrees outside like it is for me right now. The whole bottle goes into that stock pot. And I didn't catch this on camera, but I do like to add a little pinch of salt to this as well. And of course, some freshly cracked black pepper. I went 5 turns worth on my pepper mill. Now you want to give all those ingredients a stir to make sure that it's all fully incorporated as this comes up to a simmer. You definitely do not want to get this on a rip and boil as you're seeing right there, because it's going to make the honey way too thick. Lower the heat and let it simmer for about 10 minutes. Now pour the honey through a fine mesh strainer into a mixing bowl. If you are using hotter chilies, it may put off some fumes that may irritate your eyes and your throat, so if you have a hood vent, go ahead and turn that on, or crack a window in your kitchen. Kind of ventilate the kitchen as best as you possibly can, but it's not super gnarly. The viscosity on the honey should stay relatively thin as you're seeing it right now. After your timer on your oven has gone off after the 30 minutes, go ahead and crank your oven temperature up to 425 degrees, that's Fahrenheit, and set your timer for 50 minutes. Once the timer's gone off, remove the chicken wings from the oven, temp them if you need to do so. They should reach an internal temperature of 165 degrees, and the outside of these are incredibly delicious and crispy. Place the wings into a large mixing bowl. I like to give the wings a couple spoonfuls of this delicious hot honey right over the top of them. A beautiful glaze slash sauce, whatever you want to call it. I like going very generously with the glaze, as I love having my crispy chicken wings with a beautiful sauce dripping off of them. Toss the bowl a few times to evenly coat the chicken wings with the hot honey. Very, very delicious. I love this sauce and I love the chicken wings. The wings stay nice and crispy even being coated with this beautiful sauce. Go ahead and dish up on your favorite plate. I'm going to go ahead and pound this entire batch to myself, and I go as far as topping the wings off with even more of that hot honey. Absolute delicious, nice crispy chicken wings, beautiful hot honey sauce with a nice amount of sweetness to it. I absolutely love the spicy sweet combination. Absolute banger, you're gonna love it.